Let's get started with our first news. Shawn Brady wants to become welterweight champion by the end of 2025. Following his 4th-round submission win over Leon Edwards, Shawn Brady made it clear he has one goal, and that's to be the welterweight champion before the year ends. The current champ Belal Muhammad is set to face Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315 next month. Brady says he's open to fighting either of them. Guillotines are one of my favorite submissions, Brady said. I did a grappling match with Boogeyman a month or 2 ago, and I hit him with that. He's the coolest dude in the world, but it's one of my go-to submissions. I love jiu-jitsu, and I would love it if the UFC got me on one of these Fight Pass invitationals. I want to compete and show that I belong, even with the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, even outside MMA. Hopefully, whoever runs that sees this tonight and lets me slide in there. Brady also spoke about his future title hopes, stating, "There's someone fighting for that belt already. Jack D is fighting for that belt. Jack's not going to get hurt. It's interesting either way. Belal gave me my first loss, and me and Jack were actually supposed to fight, but I had to pull out because of a staph infection. Then, turns out, Jack fights Gilbert, gets a horrible staph infection, and is out for almost a year. So the stories are there either way, but those guys are going to fight, and then whether the UFC wants me to fight someone else before then, that's okay. And if not, if they want me to wait till later this year, then I'll fight for the belt. I'll get my revenge against Belal, or I'll get to settle things with Jack for saying I crapped my pants when I pulled out due to my staph infection." Brady also shared the emotional side of his journey, reflecting on his struggles. "Looking back, I haven't fully processed it yet, but I definitely will. Yesterday after the weigh-ins, they were playing the UFC journey, and I don't usually watch that stuff before my fights, but I was about to cry. I had to hold it back. When I get some time alone, I'll let out some tears because it's been crazy. My wife has had some hard nights. I've heard my baby crying, and she's letting me sleep so I can train. It was hard. I'm not going to lie and say it was easy. It was tough. I even texted my manager Lloyd and said, I'm so happy we didn't get that fight in London because there's no way I could leave my baby girl. Then on Tuesday he called me and said, we got a fight in London. Whether I'm fighting for the belt or the guy who's fighting next for the belt, that's what I'm hoping for. I want to be champion by the end of 2025, and I really think it's possible." Moving on to the next big news, Kevin Holland has opened up about his future in the welterweight division and whether he plans to stay at 170 pounds. Last night at UFC London, Holland secured a solid victory over Gunnar Nelson via unanimous decision, further proving himself as a dangerous contender in the weight class. At the post-fight press conference, Holland was asked about his future plans and whether he would continue to compete at welterweight or consider moving up to middleweight. Holland, known for his honesty and entertaining personality, gave a straightforward answer. "The amount of money I make these days, I could definitely slow down, but the amount of money I spend, I have to stay active." This statement highlights Holland's desire to fight frequently, something that has been a key part of his career. Over the years, he has been known as one of the most active fighters on the UFC roster, often stepping up on short notice to take fights in both weight classes. However, he also recognizes that fighting at 170 pounds requires smart planning due to the weight cut. "If I stay at 170 pounds, I have to be smart. I can fight a couple of months down the road, then another one a couple of months after that. If I stay at 170, I'll probably only get 2 more fights this year, 3 at the most. But if I move up to 185 pounds, I could fight every weekend." This statement suggests that while Holland enjoys competing at welterweight, the frequent weight cuts could limit his activity level. On the other hand, if he moves up to middleweight, where he naturally walks around at a bigger weight, he wouldn't have to drain himself before fights, allowing him to compete more often. Holland also made sure to give credit to his opponent, Gunnar Nelson, acknowledging his elite grappling skills. Fighting a guy like Gunnar, you can say a lot of things, but you can't say he can't grapple. He can grapple pretty damn good. And if you're asking people online, they'd probably say he's a better grappler than Rainer de Ridder. If he's a better grappler than RDR, then size definitely matters in this game. This shows Holland's respect for Nelson's ground game, while also emphasizing how size and strength play a major role in grappling exchanges, something he would have to consider if he moves up in weight. Later, Holland took to Instagram to share his thoughts on the fight and to send a message to his fans and critics. Real from the start, that win wasn't a knockout, so I better step correct next fight. For the loyal homies, we're back, and for the fans who keep going back and forth, trust me, I understand. With this post, Holland acknowledged that while he didn't secure a knockout finish, he remains confident in his skills and is looking forward to his next challenge. Now, fans are eagerly waiting to see whether Holland stays at welterweight or makes a move back to middleweight to keep up his high activity level in the UFC. Now, onto some truly electrifying reactions. Joe Rogan's live reaction to the Leon Edwards vs. Shawn Brady fight was absolutely insane. The legendary UFC commentator was watching the bout during a special JRE Fight Companion stream with his friends, and his excitement reached an entirely new level as the fight unfolded. A clip of Rogan's reaction quickly went viral after being shared by ex-user Happy Punch, and fans couldn't get enough of it. In the video, Rogan can be seen completely losing his mind as Brady executed a dominant finish over the former champion. His reaction was filled with pure adrenaline, showcasing just how unbelievable the moment was. As Brady locked in the one-arm guillotine choke, Rogan's commentary became an explosion of excitement, mirroring the shock and thrill felt by fight fans worldwide. Rogan couldn't believe what he was witnessing. The magnitude of Brady's dominant win over a former welterweight champion left him and his co-hosts in complete awe. Fantastic shutout against one of the best of all time in the division. Former champion beats his ass and submits him. His reaction wasn't just about excitement, it was a testament to how monumental this victory was for Brady. Beating a former champion is one thing, but doing it in such a decisive fashion, forcing a tap with a one-arm guillotine, is a whole different level of skill and dominance. Fans watching the Fight Companion stream went wild, flooding social media with their own reactions. Many pointed out how rare it is to see Rogan react so intensely, even for high-stakes fights. The fact that he was this animated speaks volumes about the sheer shock factor of Brady's performance. Following the fight, analysts and fighters alike praised Brady's grappling, calling it one of the most impressive submission victories in recent memory. With this win, Brady has officially cemented himself as a major force in the welterweight division, and his path to title contention just got a whole lot clearer. As for Rogan's reaction, it's already become one of the most iconic Fight Companion moments, one that fans will be replaying for a long time. Next up, a wild scene unfolded at a recent Dirty Boxing event, as fans erupted into loud "Fatam Aspinall" chants while Jon Jones made an appearance. In a major business move, Jon Jones has now officially joined Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing promotion as a co-owner, bringing even more star power to the organization. Last night, the promotion hosted an exciting fight card featuring none other than the legendary Yoel Romero, who stepped into the boxing ring for a clash against Ross Hilton. The matchup was intriguing from the start. Romero, a former UFC title challenger and an absolute powerhouse at 47 years old, was going up against Ross Hilton, who is 37 and stands at an imposing 6 feet 6 inches. The size and age gap between the two fighters was undeniable, but as always, Romero proved that age is just a number. Despite being significantly shorter and older, Yoel delivered a spectacular TKO victory, reminding fans why he's one of the most explosive and durable fighters in combat sports history. The fight showcased his power and experience, and once again, he defied expectations inside the ring. However, the action wasn't just inside the ring, the crowd had their own battle going on. Before the fights kicked off, Jon Jones and Mike Perry stood on stage to hype up the event when suddenly, a large portion of the audience broke out into chants of "Fatam Aspinall." The rivalry between Jones and Aspinall has been heating up, especially with Aspinall holding the interim UFC heavyweight title and calling for a unification bout against Jones. The crowd's energy reflected just how much the heavyweight division drama has captured fan attention. Jones, who has been sidelined due to injury, hasn't confirmed whether he'll face Aspinall when he returns, leading to growing frustration among fans who want to see that heavyweight showdown. Meanwhile, over at UFC London, Aspinall was well aware of the scene unfolding at the Dirty Boxing event. When the camera panned to him, he wasted no time mocking Jon Jones in front of the London crowd by holding up a rubber duck. This was a clear shot at Jones, as fans have repeatedly accused him of ducking the fight with Aspinall. The gesture quickly went viral, viral, sparking debates online about whether Jones is truly avoiding the fight or just waiting for the right time to make his return. With tensions rising between these two heavyweight champions, the MMA world is buzzing with one question: will Jon Jones ever fight Tom Aspinall, or will this remain one of the biggest what-if fights in UFC history? Now, Jiri Prochazka fires back at Magomed Ankalaev. The tension in the UFC light heavyweight division just got even more heated as Jiri Prochazka responded with fire to a call-out from Magomed Ankalaev. After Carlos Ulberg secured a dominant victory over Jonovic, Ankalaev wasted no time in stirring up some controversy. He took to social media to mock Jiri Prochazka, posting, "Carlos versus fake ninja." Clearly, Ankalaev was taking a shot at Prochazka's unique samurai-inspired mindset and martial arts philosophy, but if he thought Jiri would stay silent, he was dead wrong. Prochazka, known for his warrior mentality and no-nonsense attitude, immediately clapped back with a fierce response. "Who wrote it? You or some slave of yours?" Jiri wasn't just dismissing Ankalaev's words, he was questioning whether Magomed even had the guts to speak for himself, or if someone else was doing the trash talk for him, but he didn't stop there. "You show everyone who's a fraud champion. I want your head." Prochazka made it crystal clear that he sees Ankalaev as nothing more than an unproven fighter who needs to step up and prove himself. And then, perhaps the most intense part of his response: "If I have to go through someone else to hunt you, then let's go." This was a direct declaration of war. Prochazka is willing to fight anyone if it means getting his hands on Ankalaev. Whether it's a direct fight or a battle to earn his shot, Jiri is more than ready to make it happen. With Prochazka's aggressive challenge and Ankalaev's bold trash talk, this rivalry is quickly becoming one of the most explosive feuds in the UFC's light heavyweight division. Could this set the stage for an epic showdown? Fans are eagerly waiting to see if Ankalaev has the courage to step up, or if Prochazka will have to go on a warpath to make the fight happen. And finally, Dana White provides an update on Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. We're already deep into 2025, and yet there is still no official announcement for one of the most anticipated fights in UFC history: Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Fans are growing restless, wondering if this heavyweight clash is actually going to happen, or if it will remain stuck in negotiation limbo. However, UFC President Dana White is standing firm. He insists that this fight will happen. In a recent interview with TNT Sports, White reassured fans, saying, "The fight is going to happen, it's just a matter of when. Getting it signed and done, that's the next step, but the fight will happen." When pressed further about a possible timeline, he remained vague but confident. "It's just a matter of getting it signed now." That statement has only added to the speculation. What's the holdup? According to recent reports, Jon Jones is asking for 6 months to prepare for Aspinall. If that's true, we could be looking at a late 2025 booking, meaning fans might have to wait until December or even early 2026 for the fight to finally take place. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall has not been shy about calling out Jones, even going as far as mocking him for ducking the fight. At UFC London, when the cameras panned to him, Aspinall held up a rubber duck, taking a public jab at Jones for allegedly stalling negotiations. Jones, on the other hand, has remained relatively quiet on the subject, fueling speculation that he might be hesitant about facing Aspinall, who many believe is the toughest challenge of his career. With both fighters seemingly on different timelines, UFC fans are left in limbo, waiting for an official announcement. One thing is certain, it's only a matter of time before this fight gets booked. Whether it happens in 2025 or later, when Jones and Aspinall finally step into the octagon, it's going to be one of the biggest heavyweight fights in history. Stay tuned for more updates.